I pull this one up just really to say robotics is an awful lot of things. There's industrial robots. There are nuclear teleoperated robots. There's medical, very, very important area. Lots of things happening in the medical area. Automated cars, you're already starting to see some of that coming through. Domestic, vacuum cleaners, 3 million of those are being sold. Toys, robot football. Hobby robots, again, this one's had 2.5 million sold of that one. And of course, you've got the humanoid robots. So, robotics is a heck of a lot of things. It's also a heck of a lot of technologies. Because a robot is one of the smallest systems that's actually bringing in together all sorts of technologies from mechanical, computing, AI, psychology, the whole lot. So robotics is big. Why is it interesting though? Well, really, it's money. This is one of the many projections, and this one says, okay, about 80, 90 billion this industry is going to be worth, and this is service robots by 2025. Lots of other ones. The main point is it's a growing industry, and it's one that's going to be really interesting. Where are we at the minute? Well, in terms of service robots, we're about at 1 billion. That's about where it is. It's difficult because there's lots of new companies coming along all the time. If you look at that and break it down in terms of unit numbers, about 90% of those are things like vacuum cleaners. As I said, 3 million are sold. However, in terms of sales revenue, 80% of that is actually professional service robots. That's robots doing things like going out and surveying subsea pipes, it's nuclear decommissioning, it's bomb disposal, it's medical robotics. So most of the sales revenue at the minute is in that area. Just by comparison, industrial robots at the minute are worth about 6 billion. So it's about a sixth of the market at the minute. But the line between them is actually getting fuzzy. Where do we expect to be in the medium term? Well, World Robotics forecast says that between now and 2010, there will be 8 billion of sales to existing companies. But the important thing here is that actually there are companies entering the market all the time. So Microsoft actually forecast a world service robot market of between 16 and 35 billion per annum by 2010. So, big market. Not really time to go into this, but just to say, this is a market that's been taken seriously internationally. Japan, Korea, USA and Europe. Korea in particular have the stated political ambition of being the world leader in service robots. They are going to provide a robot into every home by, I think it's now 2014. It keeps changing a little bit, but they've got serious ambitions in this. Europe, however, is also a major player, and this is important for the Southwest because actually, if we're going to be a big competitor, then the Southwest needs to look at the European context. Europe's already a joint leader in terms of industrial robotics. You can grow up on that. It also is a natural market for many of the professional service robots, and there are routes to market into the consumer area. So, for instance, through companies like Electrolux, Philips, Bosch, they provide natural routes to market for what is a good technology base. UK also benefits from things like framework programs, and there's lots of money. There's actually just a call come out of robotics now that's 120 million euros. The other thing just to mention in terms of Europe is that UK is a significant participant in ESA, and actually looks like it's going to take on the lead role on the ESA Mars Lander programme. Okay, Southwest. Very strong academic base in the Southwest. The Bristol Robot Lab is the largest, most active lab in the UK. It's also about to get larger. In the next couple of years, it's actually going to move here, onto this site, and get larger in the process. There's also good research groups in both Plymouth and Portsmouth, and if I've missed anybody else, I apologise. But also, there's a good industrial base down here. something like 25% of the UK total. All right, it's only 12 plus, but actually that's good at the minute where we stand in the world. 25% of the UK total is actually based in the southwest region, so it's a good base to do it. Something like 50% of those are SMEs or university spin-outs. The strong traditional service robot areas, things like the subsea nuclear bomb disposal, all have outlets down here. And there are application areas for the new robotics, aerospace, defence, food processing. And as with most of the UK, there are strong political recognised drivers. Things like the ageing society, security, competitiveness, sustainability. Robotics has answers that is part of the answer to all of those questions. Finally, where are the opportunities? Well, there's opportunities in companies, obviously in both service robots and domestic robots, but perhaps the bit that tends to be overlooked is things like component suppliers, system development houses, application development. This is going to be very, very big. Just like PCs, you're going to see system development houses coming up, application development, and we're going to require component suppliers for things like AI systems, planning systems, navigation systems, etc. So it's big. Having said that, let me pass over to Roz, who's going to tell you about specific things on OC Robotics.
Hi everyone. As Geoff said, I'm from RURobotics. I'm going to talk to you about what we do, which is snake arm robots. I'm going to have to be very brief, I'm afraid, because we don't have much time. But if you would like to come and talk to me afterwards, then I'd be happy to talk to any of you. So, the history of RURobotics in a nutshell. We were founded in 1997 by our two directors, Andrew Graham and Rob Buckingham. We raised venture capital in 2001 to make snake arm robots into a product. And we've now grown to 16 employees, and we're recruiting very heavily. We're growing very quickly at the moment. We're probably growing about 50% per annum at the moment. And so it's a very exciting time for us. So what are snake arm robots? Some of you might be familiar with boroscopes, endoscopes. They're a flexible tube with a camera at one end, effectively. And they're for looking inside a jet engine in this case, or they use them in the medical industry for looking in, down your throat and all of that sort of stuff. They're very floppy and that you can control the tip, but one of our customers calls them a wet noodle, and you can't control where they're going to go.